Greetings and salutations, gamers. Welcome to Cast Co-op, the podcast in which three podcast hosts cast together. I am one of your hosts, Luke Lore, the insipid ghost, joined by the big brother of video games, my big brother and yours, the biggest of all the brothers, Mr. Ainsley Bowden of Seasoned Gaming. How are you, sir?
What's happening, fellas? It's good to see you guys. It's been too long since we've done this. It's been too long.
It has been.
I firmly blame Joe.
I do not, because you guys rocked that amazing Halo roundtable last week.
That's true. I said the wrong name. I meant Luke.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, I couldn't make that one, but I watched it, and you guys did an amazing. That was a great piece of content. I'll tip that at the top of this show. That was fun. That was fun to watch.
It was a fun show, and Joe and I have talked about it, of course, but I got to be honest with you. I think it was better off that you weren't there, honestly.
Yeah. We actually all unilaterally agreed. Even the people that didn't know you were like, yeah, it's best.
Yeah, I've seen that guy. You talking about the Vault Boy? Yeah, he's probably better off talking Fallout, not Halo.
It hurts. Yeah. It hurts. Yeah. But it was good to hear you guys talking sweaty Halo, because I could not have helped you there. I'm ignoring all of this, and I'm moving right along to say...
we are 7 weeks from Halo, by the way. 7 weeks.
We are. That is actually so exciting.
That's very soon compared to how long we've been waiting. 7 weeks is nothing.
Bro, we've got genuinely... It started about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Yeah. We've had so many big hitters now that it surprises me, because I wasn't expecting some of them to hit the way they did. So I'm stoked. But let me first introduce Mr. Badbit, host of The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast, which recently hit its own big milestones, as you did as well, Mr. Joseph Moran. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, man?
I'm good, and I got to send you praise, even though it pains me on occasion. You have been crushing it.
Oh, thanks, man.
You've been crushing on the personal front, professional front. You've been making appearances on IGN and a few other places that have just warmed my heart. And you guys crossed 200 podcast reviews. I mean, if we're doing a cast co-op, you have nailed some of the podcaster milestones of late. So bravo.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. I'll just reply as if I have nothing nice to say. Just don't say it at all. So okay. Luke, you look fine.
Nice. Thank you.
No, thank you, man. It means a lot. It's been actually like a really crazy month. And like peaks and valleys, like personal stuff and like podcast stuff, all highs. But it's been a journey the past few weeks, and we ain't done yet. Dang it! So
I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. Watching Seasoned Gaming do the same thing has been awesome, and I've been living vicariously through you guys as I've been focusing a little bit less on XCP. I had banked interviews rather to get me through soccer season and coaching, because I'm doing these 13-hour days and stuff. And it's been cool to live vicariously through you guys, kind of while I'm in this down state of XCP. So it's been dope. It's been dope to watch.
I don't think you're in a down state necessarily.
Well, I should say that I hadn't been for a month. I wasn't pursuing new interviews because I'd banked them to cover my time slot.
Yeah, sometimes life takes over, man. It happens to all of us.
Yeah. Life finds a way.
I've heard rumors of such. Well, boys, we've got quite a few things on the docket this week. Kotaku made headlines with some journalistic endeavors. So I do want us to talk just a bit about that. We have Ubisoft, which is gone from being the trendsetters to trend chasers with yet another. It's a battle royale, PvP, free to play, any category that you can buzzword, it's in there, but it's got Tom Clancy's name on it. So that's a surprising one. And then of course we had several people write in with questions over on the Twitterverse. So I'm excited to talk about that stuff with you. Let's start with Ubisoft though. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Frontline announced it's a PvP class-based shooter. It looks like it's going to be landing in the battle royale genre, but there are hero type classes in it. You can mix and match all types of things with Tom Clancy. They announced it. They announced the beta. They delayed it.
Indefinitely.
No date.
Mm-hmm. Pretty substantial downvote too.
I was just going to say, I looked at it yesterday to kind of do the update for the site, and it was at 4,900 upvotes when I looked, and it was at 17,500 downvotes. 3.5 times to 1.
Right now, it's sitting at Ubisoft main, 5,000 likes, 20,000 dislikes.
That's not the ratio you like to see on your new project.
Wow. Yeah.
So I'm of two minds about that method of that upvote downvote thing. I like that because it does allow for a community to speak. The problem the aspect that I don't like is you get bandwagon people that are not invested.
You get
that are jumping on the trend. Exactly.
Yeah.
I prefer the upvote downvote on the YouTube space versus any type of critic aggregation site of anything like that. But are we surprised by this news?
No.
This is first off, it sucks for the people working on this thing.
Yeah.
Right. First and foremost, because they probably know what this game is, but they're working hard and diligently on it. They probably know the reception they're going to get to it. I think they thought they were going to be met with skepticism and not outright just disgust, it seems. But like, this is just the standard trend for Ubisoft, it seems like. It's them trying to throw ideas at the wall to see which one sticks, and I don't know, man. Not good. Not good. And personally, for me, like, I did not care. I have not watched this trailer. All you told me was it's Battle Royale. I already have my Battle Royale when we go back to it, which is Fortnite. And then that's it. Like, there's too many already,
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I agree with Joe completely. It sucks for the people working on it. Ubisoft is obviously chasing a trend. Even if this has been in development for year and a half, 2 years, something like that, they're still chasing a trend. I don't know. I think here's the problem. If you're going to unveil something like this, that's new, in my opinion, you have to be more aware of the gaming community and what's going on, in the sense of you can't just come out, give us a minute-long teaser and say Ghost Recon Battle Royale, because people are going to be pissed off like they are. If you want to make this type of game, first of all, why does it have Ghost Recon on it? It doesn't have to have that name. Ubisoft just created a brand new IP in the fall, Immortals, which did really well. People love that game. Create a new shooter if you want, but when you debut it, you need to debut it with like we always say state of play, but something like a 10, 15 minute to really show what the game's about and if it has merit, right?
Right.
Because then people are going to kind of say, okay, maybe I could see this being fun. X Defiant came out and went pretty negative right away, too, when they debuted that and they had the beta. But at least they showed enough where at least some people were like, okay, this might be fun. This might be that. But this was just basically shit on right away.
Yeah. Well, it comes off the idea that they have Tom Clancy's X Defiant, Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland, which is a free-to-play version of The Division, which is also not exactly what that is, but and then to have Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Frontline, like you said, it's not Ghost Recon. X Defiant seems to be competing with Overwatch or Call of Duty in different levels. They got battle royales here. It's like they're entering spaces that are crowded with the Tom Clancy name and hoping that name gets them through. And it's just
he's dead and can't even defend himself.
He's dead, can't defend himself, and his name's being dragged through the mud. Those games used to mean something. That title used to mean something.
Yep.
And it feels like no longer.
Yeah. His name used to mean something. Like, you think of Tom Clancy, you think of something like Splinter Cell or Ghost Recon, and those were based in some type of reality, some type of like something where you can like close your eyes and be like, I'm there, right? Where now it's just like, let's have these goofy battle royale games. So let's put like, our Call of Duty spin on this thing. Let's just throw his name and attach it to something in order for it to be, I guess what they think marketable, which really sucks to see. It really does. Because when I think of Tom Clancy, I'm not thinking of X Defiant. I am thinking of Sam Fisher. Yeah. And the thing I think that angers so many people is what we want. It seems Ubisoft's not giving us. So like every time there's an Ubisoft thing, what do we want? We want a Splinter Cell. Not me personally, but like the audience at large wants a Splinter Cell game, right? They want a return to form that is what we think of a Tom Clancy game. And every time we get these goofy battle royales or this goofy X Defiant where they'll tease, like they'll have like the Splinter Cell goggles on. Isn't this wacky and crazy? It's like, no. And I think this video is like, enough is enough. We don't want this. We don't want what you're selling us here. Stop. Give us what we actually want. And I think even when it comes to games that I've enjoyed, like Far Cry, and even like Valhalla, I think Ubisoft, it's weird because like last generation, it seemed like they hit a really good mark towards the end. And now it's like, we're just going to overblow all these games. We're going to put so much, it's going to overwhelm you. You're going to live in our games, whether you want to or not, it seems. And I feel like we're not just getting tired of the Ubisoft formula, but we're getting tired of them not innovating on their franchises rather than just selling them out for what they're doing right now. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and I don't know who's making these decisions because you have Ghost Recon, which is a powerful IP or used to be a powerful IP. Splinter Cell is a powerful IP. Division, whether you like it or not, is a powerful IP. It's sold. I mean, Division 1 and 2 combined are in like 25, 30 million sales. I don't know. They're way up there.
Yeah.
And Wildlands was generally regarded as a good game. I mean, people liked Wildlands. They lost their mark with Breakpoint because they basically made Wildlands Division, which is not what people wanted. So why do you not go back to the drawing board and say, okay, we've got Ghost Recon Wildlands was a hit. We missed the mark with Breakpoint. Let's revise and bring back the Wildlands kind of formula for Ghost Recon and then make a Splinter Cell in parallel. Instead, we get X Defiant, which really no one was asking for. We'll see if it's any good. And then 6 months later after that basically shits the bed, we get a debut of a Battle Royale Ghost Recon game, which again, nobody's asking for. It's just very weird decisions. And I know it's easy to sit here like we do and criticize. We don't know the financials. We don't know the teams. We don't know anything else to do with it. But it just, from the outside looking in, it seems like they're just not listening.
And it seems like with games that are evolving their franchises in meaningful ways, like we're taking a look at like a Halo or a Metroid, they're being rewarded financially for doing that. And to see Ubisoft just go like, we see Warzone, can we have a Warzone? Like, why can't we have a Warzone? You know, or why can't we have a Call of Duty? It's like, dude, you're answering that call way too late. And this was such a huge, just colossal dud. Embarrassing even. But.
So where do you think they go now? They've had the debut. We don't know how late in development the game is. They didn't really say. They canceled the closed beta test. What do they do now? Because what they said is, go ahead, Luke. Sorry.
Well, no, I want to add to your context before we answer, because not so long ago we were praising Ubisoft for repurposing a bit of and reapproaching Assassin's Creed. It stopped being annual. Origins and Odyssey did very well. Valhalla seems to be more of that. I was not interested in Valhalla, but I loved Origins and Odyssey. I thought they were great. Far Cry was in its stride at one point not too long ago, although it seems now after you two have played it and many others saying it's a great game. Doesn't do anything new, but it's a great game.
No, not a lot new. I do think Far Cry 6 is the best Far Cry, in my opinion.
That's great to hear, because I've got it sitting on the box ready to go. But not too long ago, we were praising them. And as you said, Immortals came out. They've got Riders Republic coming. And those are all, I think, high points. But the Crew 2 kind of fell with a dud. They're starting to recycle a lot of the same philosophies, which the gamers were asking for a lot of at one point. But it seems to me that these trend-chasing mantras, where do they go from here? It certainly hasn't been Sam Fisher. It certainly hasn't been Ghost Recon proper. Breakpoint really let down, I think, with the Wildlands fans, including myself. And so it's like you're juggling, and there are some really great highs, but you're dropping a few on the way down.
And Watch Dogs Legion too was a very good game.
That's true. Yes.
And brought Watch Dogs back. Forgot about. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the frontline press release, and they just said the development team is dedicated to creating the best experience possible. But what does that mean? That's like the most blanket statement ever.
Yeah. I don't know, man. And also, we got Rainbow Six Extraction in January,
and that looks. My stepson has like 2,500 hours in Siege, and him and his whole crew that play are like, who wants this? Nobody wants this.
No. So it seems like they're meeting some expectations, like we talked about Immortal just a few minutes ago, and then on other aspects, it's like they're completely dropping the ball on others.
Yeah, and Riders Republic, to your point, it's not going to be a gigantic seller, but they took kind of learnings from Steep, and they're expanding upon it, right? They're making it a kind of broader game, and for what I played of it in the beta, it's really good.
Yeah,
like there's a bunch of us that are looking forward to that game. So yeah, I don't know, man. It feels like there's two different Ubisofts.
It really does.
Yes. Yeah. Perfect analogy there. Yeah. It seems like it's one that's like in touch with the fans and the other one that is just completely out of it.
Yeah. And they seem like financial decisions, though. I feel like they're backfiring. Absolutely. Like Warzone's making billions of dollars, which it's Call of Duty. It's 100 million players. It's free to play. I mean, that's what it is, right? It's going to make money. Ubisoft doesn't have that. Right? They don't have an IP or a reputation to pull that off. And creating one new, as we've seen from a lot of other shooters in the past 2 years that have tried to do it and basically just fallen off the face of the earth, like Hyperscape. Hyperscape came out. It was big for like a couple months and it's basically dead.
I don't even think it was big, Ains.
I mean, you know what I mean? It started to gain a little audience, but yeah, to your point, it never got huge. And there's others I'm forgetting, I'm sure.
Well, it's like when I hear people talk about Halo getting Battle Royale. They're like, it needs to get Battle Royale. I'm like, that is a crowded space.
It is.
It is a crowded space, right? And like, I do think Halo could do it well, but like, you got Apex, you got Fortnite, you got Call of Duty, and then PUBG. I think you could probably throw in there, maybe, and even then, it drops.
It's trailed off. Yeah.
So I don't see it. Go ahead.
Dude, I played PUBG. Not to interrupt. I played PUBG the other night for the first time in months, and after playing Halo and Far Cry and all these kind of modern, now optimized for current gen hardware. Holy crap! It looks like a 360 game.
Oh man,
it never looked good.
It never looked great, but now, like, I was like, oh my god, like, what is going on here?
I think what we may be seeing is like the canary in the coal mine, where we're seeing a lot of these publishers and a lot of these, big corporations throw out these ideas of like, is this a big multiplayer thing that will get some whales here? Is this a big multiplayer battle royale thing over there that we can entice a few people with? Because, like, take a look at Ubisoft. They've been trying, failing in some regards. And it seems like every other week we're getting stories of PlayStation's investing in this company because they want to make a multiplayer game here. They're investing in Lucid to make a free-to-play Twisted Metal game over here. There's a rumored, Marvel multiplayer game there. And it maybe that is kind of the financial like future that these publishers are in, where they're like, hey, we need this big thing to fuel the engine that is all these other projects that we have.
Right.
Maybe that is the unfortunate reality of why we're seeing this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think recurring revenue is what we're talking about, and it's becoming too hard to ignore for these companies. Fortnite kind of set the trend. I mean, there was a year, 2018 or something, where Fortnite made $6 billion.
Yeah.
And
Ains is lagging.
Ains cut out there.
Ains, your mic's dead. He's surprised. Oh,
you see how he's
shocked. He has this weird face. He doesn't know what's going on.
I can't hear you.
Did your mic short circuit?
He's muted now.
Now you're muted.
Oh, this is fun. This is happening live on air. We can talk junk about it. Are
we back?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, you're back.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's kept the line for a second.
Okay, so I was talking about Fortnite, but anyway, billions of dollars a year. And the only thing in the gaming industry outside of mobile, which is a whole different market, right? The only thing in the console space making billions a year really are these free-to-play kind of shooters with microtransactions, right? And sports franchises with the Ultimate Team stuff. And that's really it. And so I think, it's just too hard to ignore. You say, okay, we made 200 million off of, I'm just making this up, but say you made 200 million off of Immortals, right? I don't think they did, but say they did. Yeah. And it's like, well, we could have made something that could make us 1 billion per year for 5 years, right? When you look at the math, if you're an executive who doesn't really listen to the gaming community, you're thinking, why aren't we doing that?
And also just to kind of pivot into the EA space for a second of how important microtransactions are to these companies is, if you guys haven't seen this, have you heard this? Have you seen this, folks?
Yeah, the FIFA thing.
FIFA wants double the price for their new licensing fee. I think the license goes out in like a year or two or whatever.
Yep.
And what they then also want is EA to limit their microtransactions of the game.
Yeah.
I guess they saw all those IGN 2 scores. And so, yeah, like, and EA's now like, okay, what's a big name? What's a big name that's, we don't need FIFA. You know, they're shopping around like, you know, their own type of soccer's equivalent to Madden or football. Right. That's what it's called over there.
Lay football in French.
Oh, lay football.
FIFA is just Prince money for EA, and FIFA's picked up on it, obviously. So that's going to be interesting to watch unfold.
Yeah. It's going to be brutal.
I will say to round it back to Ubisoft, somehow, some way, I hope someone there truly gets the message that they need to return to roots the way they tried to do it. Assassin's Creed did a good job at kind of rebooting in some ways with gameplay, with Origins and Odyssey, to a lesser extent with Valhalla. I would love to see Far Cry get a reboot in terms of gameplay. You have your hand up. Yes, sir. Yes.
I heard, I have an inside source. It's a small source, but it's I've been hearing rumblings. Oh gosh,
YouTube video shock face.
What if Phil Spencer comes around and he's like, I'm gonna buy Ubisoft for $2 trillion suitcase?
That's right.
$2 trillion.
Easy.
They got look at all the colors that Ubisoft has. You know, look at that. Look at it. You got that dust settles, and it's always like blues and reds and yellows and all that. It's beautiful. It's like a rainbow in there. So you got the colors. They got culture, right? Because there's studios all around the world. What's there to lose?
Ains, I got to tell you, just between you and me, this Joe kid, he's got it figured out.
Well, in Ubisoft's market cap is not even, it's about 2/3 of what Bethesda was. So, I mean, it's entirely possible financially. They don't have a publishing arm, which they don't need. You know, Xbox doesn't need. They don't really have any technology, which Xbox doesn't need. So, I mean, from a feasibility standpoint, you'd really just be buying the IPs and the talent. But yeah, if they do that, please, for God, change some of that leadership out.
It's worth it. You know, like joking aside, it would be worth it for Microsoft for the Tom Clancy, for the Splinter Cell IP alone. And I think Immortals would be a nice fit into that portfolio. That's like pie in the sky. To be clear, that's not the conversation that I want to go down. But it would actually make sense for a few of those IP, and they would drop a few of them like a bad habit. That's for sure.
And then PlayStation be dead.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been dead, so it's
Well, how could they survive?
Just hitting it with a stick at this point.
Marvel connections and HBO Max series tied to their highly successful franchise games, and with Jim Ryan finally saying that yes, we do need to reach more than 10-20 million people.
What do you guys think that means? Can we pivot onto that for just a sec? So yeah, Jim Ryan, who's Lion Ryan to some people, or tap dancing Ryan,
tap dancing.
To me, he's just Jimbo. So Jimbo was
when you're at Thanksgiving with him, that's what you call him?
Yep. Well, he never makes it, but he sends a nice letter.
Does he? Or is it your mom writing the note and putting it in?
Is it scripted?
It's funny. It is in her handwriting. Nonetheless, he said something. He's like, it really pains me to know that like there aren't hundreds of millions of people playing our games. That, there's almost a seemingly infinite amount of people consuming movies or music. And what do you guys think that means, that PlayStation may be churning up something?
PlayStation was always going down this path. It's inevitable. They're just behind.
No, they're not.
I think we've talked about this in a way before, in a roundabout way, right? It's simple math. If you're sitting there as the head of PlayStation and your brand strength and your IP strength, and you're thinking to yourself, I'm limited today because of our decisions we've made over the past few generations, in that even if I sell 100 million PS5s, realistically your max potential there is 80-90 million players. You got to think about trade-in, sell-offs, devices breaking, etc., right? So 80-90 million players, and you've got your what is today your main competitor with building the infrastructure and the network to reach, as Phil always says, 3 billion gamers. And it's like, okay, 80 million people buying our product, 3 billion people buying our product, which is going to make more money. It's not a hard thing. I think he's starting to kind of put these thoughts out there, because you can't just turn the Titanic, right? You can't just turn it. You've got to start planting the seeds in your user base and your organization to say, look, here's the way we've done things. It's worked great for us, but here's the potential, and we need to start driving towards that potential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And because Kyle and I had a bit of this talk as well. Like, I think the 3 billion gamer thing, there's a part of me that's very skeptical. Like, that's like a marketing thing. You get people.
That's like literally if you could put your game in everybody's hand who games, exactly. Right? Which isn't ever going to happen. But,
so like with Jim Ryan's like hundreds of millions, I'm like, yeah, no, this definitely seems like they're going to turn PlayStation Now into a Game Pass Lite. In what and I don't know what you guys would think about this, but PlayStation's games continue to sell really well. So much so that why would you really want to hurt it? If you could treat games like an event, kind of like movies do, where now you're starting to see this weird marriage between the theatrical release and then the countdown to the digital release. Like, I think what maybe is the hint of what we could see from the future is Last of Us came out a year ago. It finally hit PlayStation Now. And so for the folks that really want to play Last of Us, here's your chance, right? Or maybe dabbled or whatever. Abby's Arms intimidated you, but you'll try it out for $10 a month. I kind of think that's where PlayStation is going to head with that route. That it's not going to be like a 1-to-1 to Game Pass, because I don't think it can.
I don't think it can either, largely due to infrastructure, unless they get bought out by like something like Apple, and then they are able to inherit an infrastructure.
Please don't let that happen, Sony. Thank you.
But they have always.
I'm sorry, say that again, because I thought I heard something.
Luke said unless they get bought out by Apple, and I said, please don't let that happen, Sony.
Yeah. For infrastructure purposes, and Sony, they don't have the infrastructure to have a full-on Game Pass cloud-based service that does xCloud at the moment. Now, they've always tried to have a mobile arm. Since the PSP days, there was PlayStation Mobile. Remember the phone? That existed. Yep. That existed. And they were good at having portables, despite the lack of kind of success. PSP and Vita were pretty solid systems. They've tried to get into more gamers' hands before, and it hasn't worked. They're seeing how Microsoft is doing it. They see the success of how Nintendo is doing things. They want to, I think, be in between Nintendo, where everything's an event every time, and Microsoft, where you can get it anywhere, play anytime. Because he's right, 20 million is pretty limiting for a future where everyone's connected and able to just log in and play. Mm-hmm. So my thought is PlayStation Now continues to grow. It's been a pretty decent service for a while at this point. It is not Game Pass, and I sincerely doubt it will be until they make a day and date decision with their stuff, which they don't need to do. But they saw great dividends from the Play at Home initiative when people were really engaging with their platform. I have to imagine whatever it's called, but it's the instant game collection if you have a PS5 and PlayStation Plus. I have to imagine they're seeing numbers and dividends and engagements on that. And I do not like beating the drum because it sounds so fanboyish, but engagements truly is the way of the future when games are monetized differently, when it's no longer the $70, $60 buy-in.
Yeah, I think you're right. I said this on the trophy room this week, is they definitely have done some incubated tests to see if we just eliminate the price point and we just do this thing right here, will people care about it? And Play at Home initiative is a great example. 60 million downloads, and that was just for a very a limited thing. They do have the IP that turns people's heads, that people care about. They have some of the best developers in the business. If anybody could do it, it's definitely them. And
they have the best developers and some of the strongest IP, single pillar IP that I think is in gaming right now.
All right, calm down, Pegasus.
No, we signed the form. We signed the form.
No.
I got my mug in the mail, my mask.
Somebody clip his wings.
Yeah.
I'm an Xbot. Look, I have a pillow.
Oh, I ordered that shirt today. It finally came back in stock.
Nice.
Finally
this is the red of Jim Ryan's lips.
Oh, look at us.
Oh boy. No, but like
and bots.
Yeah, like because I don't want that future where we fear big corporation that is Apple just comes in, gets cozy with Sony, and snatches them.
Please don't.
No, that scares the crap out of me too. I say this all the time.
That Stadia tech has to go somewhere, and I'm not joking. That Stadia tech is good. It's got to go somewhere.
It's got to go somewhere. And
don't let Google manage it.
But I would want to stress this is how PlayStation's positioning their brand, because we're seeing some moves like the latest rumor of Apple Music coming to PlayStation 5. We've seen their advertisements, like you could get Apple Plus for 6 months for free if you're a PlayStation 5 owner. You go into an Apple store, you see the DualSense controller in front. Like they're very, and even in the mothership videos where, you know, Tim Cook walks around the garden, tells you about the new iPad that you're going to buy. They have PlayStation's, you know, or DualSense right there playing. So to me, PlayStation is very much aligning their brand with we are this I guess posh, I don't know, this elegant-esque, I don't know, Apple-esque gaming company, it seems like to me. I don't know.
I don't know enough to answer you. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just spitballing things, because when we say like Apple money is scary, because what if they're just like, hey, let's just make this official, put a ring on it, you know? That scares me.
Yeah, it scares the hell out of me, Apple. I mean, and not necessarily PlayStation getting bought out, which may happen down the line, but you know, it needs to remain PlayStation, and Apple scares the crap out of me. Yeah. I don't know. So this is weird. While you guys were talking, I was kind of thinking, and I've got like 4 points where I think you're going to see PlayStation move, and we can come back in a year and see if I'm right about any of these. But you guys already touched on a couple of them. So I think PlayStation now gets repositioned, and I believe they expand it. So I think I agree with you guys. I don't think we'll say day and date, but I also don't think they're going to stay on a year later. I think they're going to start creeping that up over time, where if you're a PlayStation Now subscriber, maybe 6 months, maybe 3 months, depending on the IP and the power of the IP. You know, you may not get God of War in 3 months, but maybe you'll get a smaller game, Concrete Genie in 3 months or something like that. Or even smaller games launching on the service, but big games like Spider-Man, God of War, Horizon not launching on the service. I think that you'll see PS Now begin to expand. It's already on PC, obviously, but I think like as they do this, you're going to see it expand in terms of marketing presence. And what we're beginning to see is moving PlayStation Now directly to app, which is where Game Pass is going to, which is where you don't need a PlayStation. You don't even need a PC. You're going to start to see smart TVs, especially Sony branded TVs with PS Now already built into it. And they may even do something like give you 30 days, give you 60 days free when you get your new fancy TV. Go ahead. You can play PlayStation. You don't have to buy a PS5. Get your DualSense and have fun. And then people are like, well, why would I go chasing PS5? I'll just buy this for $15 a month or $20 a month. So I think you're going to see the app focus start to increase as well there once they have the infrastructure that can support it properly. And I also think that, again, moving the shift to more gamers, the PlayStation games seem to have been widely successful on PC so far. And we've already started to see more and more of their games come to PC. And just like PS Now, I think that's going to accelerate. I think you're going to see all their games come to PC, and I think you're going to see them sooner. I think what we've seen so far, to your point, Joe, is experimentation. Let's dabble. Let's see what happens when we put Horizon on PC. They saw what happens. It's extra millions and millions of copies sold. So you think the rest
I saw a video where a couple of guys were really upset, and they quit. They quit PlayStation right there.
They broke their whole desk, rightfully so, in righteous anger. And they were breathing real heavy, like
like they were crying. Anger. Yeah. It's not like Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, it was real. They were real passionate about.
They wanted to sell more games to people to have fun.
Yep. Yep. How dare they, monsters?
How dare they? How dare they let more people play their games?
Yeah.
But I think you're going to see that as well. And as this, just in my head, the last point I wanted to touch is to connect the two things you guys mentioned, which is as you expand access to PlayStation, they are known right now as the story-driven third-person adventure game. That's been their motto over the past few years, and it's been very successful. Those games don't monetize, right? So you keep building those games, your Horizon, your Ragnarok, etc. But you bring in Jade Raymond and Haven Studios to bring the multiplayer. And she put a comment out last week, if you guys saw it, saying it's going to have social aspects and user-created content. So again, you're playing into letting millions of people kind of interact with that game ongoing. You buy Firesprite, which also then acquired another smaller studio that starts with an F. I can't remember Fabrique. That's it. So now you've got that's a 200-person studio that's also working on. Thank you, 265. That's working on. That's not a small studio. That's a big studio.
It's fucking gigantic.
Yeah, I mean that's AAA. So that's working on multiplayer. So I think my point being is these games are going to take a few years to bake, right? You get the rest of this stuff in order, change your timelines, build out the infrastructure, get your TVs, your app focus, and then you start to bring in the experiences that will keep people engaged and in your ecosystem. So right there, you're going from your limited console base to, a much greater expansion.
Yeah. And you're seeing a Sony that is it's all about synergy now. We've never seen this, at least on the PlayStation end, where it's like, yeah, I would not put money on that bet because I absolutely think that's going to be the case. I think PS Now is going to be expanded. I think there's going to be we could call it a PlayStation Plus Platinum, where both of those services are combined with PlayStation Plus and PS Now.
You could call it like PlayStation Plus Ultimate. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Very good idea.
Very original.
That's a smart move. That's a smart move. PSU.
And then, then you put not just the indie games that we love, but the multiplayer games, your Twisted Metal, whatever the hell Fabrique's working on, all those multiplayer experiences make that the incentive of why you need to go onto this PlayStation Plus Ultimate. Such an original name. And that's where you can play all these games. And then, the thing that's going to get those people in the door and into the ecosystem is your Horizons, is your God of Wars, is your Ghost of Tsushimas, all that stuff.
Ghost.
Ains, you have shitty taste. I've been meaning to tell this to you for a long time. But then at the same exact time, you translate that IP into your movies and your TV, and you're seeing that right now.
Exactly.
So
we're also seeing them create multiplayer experiences out of their single player. Mm-hmm. They've been doing a lot of that, which I think
Ghost Legends is a lot of fun.
That's what I mean. That's all I
dabbled there. Yep, they dabbled there. That was free. You've got Factions coming, of course, which will be big, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. And I mean the mobile space. I think Joe, one of you mentioned it.
Yeah, mobile.
The mobile space is still big for them. You just hear less about it here in the States because it's more of a other country type thing. But they're still big in that space, and they're hiring mobile development. In fact, I think one of the studios they hired or acquired earlier this year is pure mobile development. So you start to see that too.
Yeah, they hired the head of Apple Arcade to head this new investment. So
that's still a thing. Apple I'm really Arcade, asking. I don't know.
No, it's actually really good. I actually like the. Okay. We have the Apple
I just hate
One
Apple.
I get it. We have the Apple One subscription. Humble brag. It's your iCloud. It's your all that stuff.
It's your ultimate.
It's our ultimate. But no, they have a really great what was it when they catalog everything for you? Whatever. It's nice.
I don't know what you're saying. Okay, it's good. It's not bad. Okay, got it. I got derailed.
I like the camera on this. It's nice. You see how they switched it.
To go back to a point that I made that you guys went right by with Sony doing a good job of bringing multiplayer to single player experiences. Man, I hope that Spider-Man 2 has Miles and Peter gameplay together with the buddy.
Oh yeah.
I don't care.
Ain't like Spider-Man.
You have bad taste. I've been meaning to tell you that for a long time.
It's literally their best-selling game.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good.
You have to, right? How do you not let people co-op with Peter and Miles? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah.
Please.
And you're gonna have Venom in there and Crave. Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. They each got their own game.
All right. That's enough. That's enough.
All right, enough. This isn't a PlayStation show.
I know.
Pony.
Jesus, God, Pegasus over here.
Right?
Sorry.
Where's your
phone? Riding around on wings of blue.
Yeah. Where's your Tesla?
I'll tell you what. See my Game Pass when we were talking about PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
Dude, Back for Blood.
Yeah.
Good get for Game Pass. Good get for Game Pass for sure. And then we have Forza Horizon 5 coming up.
Yeah, no, the picture's blurry. No, the picture's blurry, you guys. I don't think it's gonna be good.
Oh gosh. There's a meme where it's like zoom in again. Zoom in again.
Is it that guy who took the screenshot and then like down resed it and said, "Look how bad Forza looks"? Like there was one of those.
Twitter sucks.
It's ridiculous. In the opposite, did you see the official screenshot of the classic car with the reflection on it?
Oh yeah. My goodness.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Goodness.
My God.
It is crazy. But also it's a racing game, and I think people are over good-looking racing games as far as a seller of sorts. You know what I mean? Now, Forza Horizon. Well, I mean, like, Gran Turismo can look as good as it wants. Forza can look as good as it wants. I just want it to be fun, right? But there is a group of people. Oh, yes, Joe.
Hi. Sorry. I'm sorry for interrupting. Hi. Do they have Toyota in it? Do they have Toyota in it?
I have no idea.
Yes, they do.
Do they have a Toyota Corolla, like a white one?
This is a fun game.
Why
That's
do you
my
ask?
car, you son of a bitch.
I remember when I drove a Scion TC back in the day. I remember that was in a game, and I was like, yes. And I went and I got my car, and it's like, I was like,
fuck off. The Scion.
You're like, I do this every day.
Scion,
Wait a minute.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, I get my nice little Corolla. I'm driving around. I'm like, oh, this is me, but in Mexico. Got my Miles sticker on it.
So it's you.
My Star Wars sticker
jokes,
on
but
it.
I didn't. Can I just say, full stop on this one? Hot Wheels Unleashed is so much fun.
Oh God.
Is he pumping this game again?
So much fun. I am.
Mm-hmm. Probably because he got a code, right, Joe?
No, I bought this one with
Oh.
hard-earned American dollars. Let me tell you,
Okay.
I love this game, and it's actually getting me hyped for Forza. Because remember the Forza Hot Wheels crossover? That was great. I'm loving this. I don't know how a Hot Wheels game got good, but I unlocked the Ninja Turtles van today. Been driving around in the Batmobile. Haven't unlocked the DeLorean or the Kit.
I was going to ask. Yeah.
And not yet. Not yet.
That's the ultimate question. Is the DeLorean in it? I mean, it is, but like, have you played it? How does it feel?
Not yet. But I've raced against it.
Cannot wait to get the DeLorean in Forza.
So that's what I was going to say. The thing I really like about Forza or Horizon in particular, is that you get all the realism of the cars and them being actually modeled real, sounding real, modification real. But then you get this open world playground where you can just do whatever you want with them, and that combination is just amazing to me. Because like Hot Wheels does look like a lot of fun, but it's a pure kind of arcade nonsense racer, right? Where it has a DeLorean, but it's just the shape and look of the car. It's not like it's anything realistic.
They have their own stats, James. And they play like Hot Wheels. So like you'll go off the track if you don't take your loops properly or if you speed up and stuff. But to your point, Forza is this arcade-ish type game, Forza Horizon, but it's got sim elements that are there for people that want the real car experience.
Yeah.
And they've married those two concepts so well that I'm just stoked for it. What I'm equally stoked and hyped for, though, I loved that Halo mission in Forza Horizon 4. Mm-hmm. You know they've got to have doubled down on having more of that stuff.
The Warthog, I know the Warthog's in it because I have pictures of it.
I'm sure, but I mean more like Cortana talking to you, the ships flying over, like
it might be that new AI, which I'm sad I can't remember the name of.
The weapon or arsenal or something like that. Is that?
I think the weapon is right. Yeah.
You guys should read the books because they're good, and they tell you all about it.
Fake fan.
Yeah, read the books. But no, like, can you imagine like a Sea of Thieves one where you're going over that water tech, and you're riding around and ships are guns blazing as you ride through on this track or something like that?
That seems dumb.
Oh, thanks for taking that away from me. The Lego stuff.
What about the Gears car?
Oh my god! Imagine a Brumac,
Yeah.
a Brumac going while you're trying
we're
to
talking.
That'd be so cool.
That's better. Really, yeah, you've improved. The Sea of Thieves one, I kind of agree with you.
Oh,
are you kidding me? Lady. If you got a track and you're going, then ships are. Oh, dude, all day.
You got
where's the track going?
Hey, have you played Forza Horizon 3 Hot Wheels expansion? Yeah. The track can go anywhere, man. The world has no limits. Play has no limits, actually. Jump in.
She's like, wow.
Dude, I watched that Hellblade 2 trailer the other day, and it's still on another level.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I think it's one of it's like probably top 10 trailers for me.
It's just, you know what? The only thing that just sucks is that Xbox will be dead before that game comes out.
It's a shame.
It's just such a shame.
They spent all their money. They have none left.
I heard.
Yeah. Good. Well, we'll say between DC Fandom and the Game Awards, we're in for some good trailers.
There's still time for Xbox to buy all of DC tomorrow.
Oh, dude, you're right. Yeah, all of
They're actually on a conference call right now.
Right now, actually. Yeah, I got a text from someone. They said it's going down.
Oh, yeah? You got a little insider knowledge there?
So them and Ubisoft at once.
Yeah, both of them. Because here's the thing that I don't think a lot of people realize. Microsoft is a $2 trillion company, and they could do whatever they want. They could be God.
Yeah. You can just spend whatever you want at that point.
God, anything. I know.
By the way,
who am I to say?
I'm white enough without my camera making me look like this.
You look like
Jack Skellington.
It's not helping. All right. I'm white enough, camera. What are you doing to me? So if you think I have like a spotlight shining on me, I don't. There's literally almost no light on down here. This camera is ridiculous.
There's no way to tell.
No, what camera did you get?
It's the new Elgato face cam, which is really good.
Oh, okay.
But the white balance on it, obviously by default, is way too damn high.
Yeah. You look terrifying.
I know. Yeah. Sorry. You can see my blood vessels, which is scary.
I just want to see what Mo does with this image. Like what can he create out of this? You know.
Yeah. You mean Graham? But yes.
I meant Graham. I said Mo. I meant Graham.
Dare you.
Boys, let's transition briefly. I don't want to talk about this long. Kotaku ran an article recently that says the title on Twitter, the social space, was Metroid Dread is already running great on Switch emulators. And much a hubbubaloo about whether emulation is valid or not came about, but that wasn't the conversation that took the show on my social timeline. And that was the state of kind of games journalism, outlets that were once highly regarded with prestigious voices therein. I mean, there was a time where IGN boasted investigative journalists. There was a time where Jason Schreier was writing for Kotaku. Colin Moriarty was in a space where he was writing long-form essays about games as opposed to kind of Twitch-based content or quick content, burst-fire information type of articles. And I think that's slowly faded away. Patrick Klepek's a name I used to know pretty regularly, and that seems to have gone by the wayside, particularly in the wake of Kotaku's new editor-in-chief and such. Ains, you run a site, so you probably have a different opinion on
now, Ains, you run a site.
You took the joke. I was trying to ease into that one.
Yeah.
You've been running a site for what, 47 years?
Something like that. Yeah, about half my life.
Half your life. Yeah.
I really should let you finish.
That
was such a really good one. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I was ready.
So sorry.
All right.
He was slow rolling it.
I really was.
Let it in.
I really was. It's cool. It's been a long time. So talk to me. Talk to me about how you guys felt when you saw this.
I almost tweeted from the Season Gaming account to say, no, we're not going to run any stupid articles about emulating Metroid Dread today. And I just didn't. But yeah, I think it's poor. There's a couple aspects here that I really don't like. One, don't run articles about emulation like that, especially about a brand new Nintendo game. Like, it's not even like this game is 10 years old and it was phrased in a way of, Nintendo's never bringing this to PC, so maybe here's some things you can look at and maybe support creators, kind of a roundabout way to somewhat make it better, because we know people do it, right? Yeah. But you shouldn't encourage it, especially with the audience Kotaku has. And the fact that, what was it, a day after Dread launched, they were like, oh, PC already have these guys up and running on emulators, and they make it was almost like a celebratory article. Yeah. And then the thing I really hate, and I know we talked about this offline, and I'll just go ahead and say it, is that the editor-in-chief, and I don't know her from anyone else. I don't know her history. I have Kotaku blocked. I don't care about Kotaku.
Okay.
They're terrible to me. They're absolutely terrible. But to come out and your first defense in running feedback on an article about emulating a Nintendo game directly after launch, and you immediately come out and say people are doing this because I'm female, and is she Hispanic, I believe?
A person of color. I actually have the quote here.
Please go ahead.
She goes, and it's kind of worded weird, but she says, I get having strong opinions about piracy, but I'm begging you to question why this then arms some of you to say or imply that the site is being run down under my tenure. Literally largely the same so far. You hate women or minorities.
Ooh.
And it's a picture of Kotaku AU that gets a fraction of the audience and 2 years after Breath of the Wild came out, with the title saying Breath of the Wild now runs beautifully on 4K on PC, like somehow if two wrongs make a right.
Yeah.
And just because the internet sleuths were there then doesn't make it right now.
Yeah. Well, and it probably was called out at the time. I mean, things on Kotaku get called out all the time because they're a poor publication. But what I really hate about this, and I know, trust me, I know, especially tonight, I'm extra white. But what I hate about this, and I know we talked about this offline, right, is there's serious issues, obviously, in the world, but even within gaming culture that we talk about all the time around minorities and representation and gender and discrimination and all these things. And they need serious conversation, a lot more of it, right? We talk, I know we three guys talk about that all the time. When you throw that out as a defense for running an article on your main site, to your point, Joe, not .au, right? Your main site about emulating Nintendo directly after a launch of their new Metroid game, which we know is big name, big focus, right? That's just very poor taste. And I don't agree with it at all. And obviously, outside of a few probably racist morons on the internet, obviously nobody was thinking about her gender or race when they saw this article. I would be willing to bet the vast majority of people don't even know who she is. They're just looking at Kotaku.
And my issue with it too, is like, first off, like, it's not just the toxic fucks. We don't care about them.
Nobody cares about them.
Nobody. It's actually people within the industry who are respected, and actually some of like the kindest people have come out going, "What is going on here?" Like Jared Petty was one of like,
Jared's
guys,
awesome. I love Jared.
He's a great human being.
I know, amazing. He's like, guys, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And so like my problem with that is Patricia came on in around May or June, and she had this manifesto of like what's wrong with games media or journalism and how she's here to change it and to really shake things up and
drain the swamp.
So not to interrupt you because you're going good, but let's remember her quote just now that you read, where she said it's largely been literally the same.
So she's literally saying to you, I'm doing a bad job because I promised change and now I'm giving you literally largely the same. Right. So Patricia, if we're working with absolutes, it's either you're bad at your job or you're bad at your job. You get to pick.
Yeah.
And it does nothing to do with because you're a woman or a minority. Some of the hardest working people I know are women and minorities. So, maybe this is just a you thing. Honest to goodness, because I hate this thing of like mild criticism. Well, you guys are the worst, or valid criticism. Well, you guys are the worst, and this isn't a personal attack on me. It's like maybe it's a reflection on yourself that you're working with right now, lady. Because honest to God, I hate that I have a criticism on your site. And your answer to me is, well, you must hate me because I'm a female.
Yeah.
It's like, who the hell do you think you are? These, and I said this before and I'll say it again. When you talk in absolutes like that, not only is that Sith behavior, but you prove those Joe Rogans of the world right. Right? You're seeing someone that is literally irrational in this moment and it pushes you away. Because I bet at the end of the day, me and Patricia would agree on a lot of things.
Probably.
Right? But looking at this, it pushes me away.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of going, you know what, guys, I get your critique. I'll run it back or something. No, it's you're attacking me because of my gender. No.
Yeah.
No. And anybody who has thrown spears her way, shame on you. Don't do that. But if you have valid criticism, yeah, you should be, and you're on a public forum. Sorry. That's how it is.
In open spaces. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've gotten death threats over Labo. I'm not yelling at people that go, you're attacking me because I'm Hispanic. I hate this here. No, I'm not. It's like
attacking you because Labo is bad and you supported it for a solid 6 or 7
years.
That's the point. It detracts from the real conversation.
Yeah.
And it does harm to the people who are actually experiencing racism or, sexism or all these other things that go on.
Yeah, and when I take a look at no, white guy, I get to talk.
I've been trying to talk. You have both cut me off.
No, only one white person can talk on this topic, and I've already done it. So you're out.
Thank you. But if I could, you know what, Luke, you go. You go. Blonde hair, blue eyes. Batter up.
Thank you. And finally, my time.
This guy's been locked in a vault with 300 other white people, and now he's going to tell us about Go ahead.
The struggle. Go on.
What I was going to note is that it's not lost on me that there are 2 white guys and a Hispanic having this conversation. But one of my jobs outside of gaming is to steward young minds and to work their way through struggles that they're going to face. And we have to factor in their race, their creed, their religion, their orientation, their gender preference, everything. And it always worries and scares me when anyone defaults to those metrics when the argument has nothing to do with it. And as you guys said, it largely is absent from even the issue, and most people didn't even know. And one of the things I took a lot of comfort in seeing this all play out kind of slightly after the fact, because I had to play catch up that day on what was going on, where the amount of people across any number of demographics, standard generic white guy included, that were noting this as a problem. And I was appreciative of that because I've done a lot of reflecting and learning over the past probably 3 to 4 years. What years? 4 or 5 years at this point. Really having to process privilege, really having to process social standing, where it stands in the real world, where it stands in the entertainment world, and then our favorite hobby that we all love and want to cultivate healthy communities within, having to figure out where that responsibility is. What's my responsibility in this to help make it better in a privileged position and otherwise? And when people attack or take away from that, or the ability to do that, her statement then hurt the next female editor-in-chief of a video game publication, the next Hispanic editor-in-chief of whatever publication. And that worries me. It scared me and it made me frustrated, but I was so thankful to see so many people across so many demographics note and call that out. And that suddenly the conversation was twofold. It was like, yo, the timing of your emulation, the wording in your article, which was very poorly written. Yep. Some of the things read like it was a YouTube comment section itself. And then quite separately, the issue of trying to make it about gender and ethnicity when it was not, really gave me hope that there were rational conversations to be had. And to be sure, there were irrational ones taking place as well. But in all cases of that, I think the block and mute button is your best friend, and allow for, on an open forum, as you said, Joe, allow for yourself to be critiqued, criticized, take it in stride because you're posting something on a public place for consumption. And that's the difference. That's the biggest difference. Private things can stay private, but when we post the Cast Co-op 14, I fully expect someone to note any errors in our arguments or in judgments or hypocritical statements we might have made to other things, because we're growing and learning as we go through.
Yeah.
And like that risk by posting.
Yeah. And that's what I love about all of our communities is I'll get like a few weeks back, we used to call on the show the global condition. We used to just call it the global panorama. And one person's like, I don't really like that. I'm a doctor. I work in a hospital. It's not the best. And I took their feeling into account. I'm like, is this the molehill I want to die on? Is on a joke that I like, but whatever. Okay. Well, no, I'll just drop it.
Funny. So like, why not?
How dare you? It was good. It was clever.
but the worst, sorry.
But like, and then even like sometimes like, you know, Captain Logan and I had a conversation about my
awesome.
episode. I know he's great. Other than he hangs out with this Luke guy, he just sucks. Anyway,
Not but lately. Like, I've been so busy.
He talked to me in depth of like, I think you missed the point here. And we had a really nice little conversation. And I'm like, you know what, you're right. And that's what video games should be about, and the discourse that we should be about, and not and spotlighting others. Big or small, regardless of ideology, race, and creed, and all that. And when we see these comments like this, it really just does take 3 steps back. Yeah. So it's awesome to see that our communities are like, this sucks, throw it out. This is garbage. But it's also still sad to see such a publication that I loved back in the day just fall from grace.
Yeah. And she's defending something that they changed shortly after, because when it launched, the beginning of the article said something like, yes, this is illegal, and if that bothers you, just stop reading. And it's like, who writes something like that on a major site?
And then they edited to something completely condescending. Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, and I completely agree with you guys on the public discourse. And she's the new editor-in-chief of a major video game publication. And this is more than likely, as we said, for a vast majority of people, the first time they're ever going to see her in the public spotlight. And this is how you respond to something. She had the opportunity to come out, to your guys' point, and just say, look, this wasn't in the best taste. We're sorry. We promise we're going to do better next time. We'll re-review this article, whatever it may be, right? You could have come out and say, this is all me. Take responsibility right away. Be accountable. You're the editor-in-chief. That's your job. Come out and say, yep, you know, we missed the mark on this one. This shouldn't have happened. We're going to do better in the future. Look to hear from me on it more, or something like that, something simple. But you didn't. Instead, you went the direct opposite route. And all you've done, to Joe's point, is push, not only continue to piss everyone who's pissed off, right? Now they've just doubled down on being pissed off because you haven't corrected yourself. But now you've pushed other people away who would have been in your corner if you had just been accountable. Yeah. And I can't tell you, you know, just speaking from experience, I work with a lot of leaders in a big company. And the number one thing that'll drive any of us crazy is when someone, especially a leader of a decent sized department organization, is not accountable, when they try to push it off on something else. And it's like, no, this is on you. You know, take it, learn from it, be better.
Yeah. Right. Just be better, Kotaku.
Yeah. I think that ship sailed. I told you.
I think they're done.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think that publication has much time left.
I heard if you like reading good journalism, you go to Seasoned Gaming.
Oh, really? I heard there's just a bunch of fanboys there.
And did I say it right? Did I say it right? Yeah. Seasoned Gaming?
I think it's like Seasoned Xbox Gaming, more like it.
Oh, got him.
Welcome to my Twitter space, everybody. Welcome to my 86 other speakers here.
Twitter Spaces.
Don't start on Twitter Spaces. Good Lord.
Cannot. We went after Insiders, a few weeks ago?
Yeah,
I don't know if I can handle
Nintendo ripping
Spaces.
off everybody.
Can you turn off Spaces to even see?
I'd like to turn off some people on Spaces. I'll tell you that.
But I mean, like, you know, you get that bar now where it always shows Spaces happening. I'm like, I don't want to see these.
I don't want to. And there's always the morbid curiosity. It's like, what are these fucking baboons talking about? These dumb idiots. Just flowing shit together.
They're hurling it one way or the other. I can never.
And it's like, oh my god, Xbox is full of dummies. It's like, shut up.
Be quiet. Joe and I are going to play Back 4 Blood this weekend. You know what we're going to play on? Whatever system we want, because that's what we like doing. And we're not going to be mad at each other for it. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
crazy. It's a lot of fun with 4 players.
Oh, yes, it is. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. But for God's sakes, who locks achievements behind single player?
Stupid.
Or who locks single player achievements out of single player?
We know what you're talking about.
Thank you. Yeah. What were you doing? Like,
who
was in the
board
board
just
meeting?
Achievements, it's progression, right? Like,
they give you all of the things for progression, but like, that's not the point.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see my stats. I want to have fun. I like that zombie counter on Left 4 Dead. It was just like, this is how many I've killed, you know, and I want it to carry over to every mode.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Like lifetime stats. Can we talk about Turtle Rock Studio roasting Kentucky Fried Gaming.
Oh my god!
Do you have that image, Ains? Can you find that image?
I can bring it up. Go ahead and talk about it. I'll get it.
Wow,
dude, talk about a bad take. First of all, from KFC Gaming. Like, first of all, I don't know why they exist, but I do love them because they really do bring a lot of great humor and fun into the gaming spaces of social media. But when they tweeted, what was it? They like, there's every great masterpiece. Ains, we can't hear you. You're muted, buddy.
They said every masterpiece has a cheap copy, as if they obviously, whoever wrote that, didn't know that Back 4 Blood is literally the developers of Left 4 Dead.
They didn't know,
and they learned the hard way
to do that, and have the Left 4 Dead and Back 4 Blood logos next to each other, and not know was great. And the comeback was just something
it's coming.
special. Yeah,
I have it. I have it here.
Yeah, but Ains wants to put the picture up.
Oh, right. Production value.
Right. We
all
want
that
to do
stuff.
That. We're
definitely
not
Twitter
going to
Spaces about this show.
It's right. Honestly, like, when does it stop? You know,
that's all I hear from it.
He's still going.
Yeah.
Look how bright his face gets.
Keep
with
talking.
The computer.
Keep talking. Why'd you stop
talking?
What do you
want us to say? Because the joke. We need the joke.
Oh,
we got
there's the loudest car in the world that just passed by.
I'm trying, man.
Okay,
I gotta cut it. I gotta upload it.
I've seen it
while
from,
you do that,
from the reflection of the SG logo.
Yeah, I'm working, baby. I'm working. There you go.
There it is.
Oh, is that here? Okay, now he has got it. That was the best comeback ever. 11 herbs and spices and still no taste. God, what a get.
Murdered.
And that got shared so much. Like, oh my god, it's got 107,000 likes and almost 11,000 retweets. Ooh. No. 13,000 retweets.
And the thing that's even more brutal, it's not like they retweeted KFC Gaming. No. They just took a picture of it. So they don't get any of the engagement, which is just, if you're a social media manager, that is just like, oof, you felt that one. Yep. You felt that one right in the chest.
Well, that way they can't delete it. You know what I mean?
That too.
Yeah. Can't take it down.
And believe me, if you look up that tweet and look up the comments are just comical.
Yeah. Remember when Xbox did their like meme face that won awards when the Series S got leaked? This needs to be this year's win. Yeah, I'm calling it now.
Some of the good ones are like people showing Popeyes and then KFC next to it. Like, yep, we know what you mean.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Like KFC got killed.
Man. And they usually do the killing. They're good.
Yeah.
They're good at socials. Yeah.
They just thought they were Wendy's Twitter.
Yeah, they're not Wendy's.
No,
even like Stein, like Xbox media community, even he just posts like a GIF like smiling and nodding.
That's so good.
He's also excellent. He's excellent.
Yeah,
he's the one that did that Xbox one that got the awards. That was him.
Oh yeah. No, he's a terrific. He's like someone I would model after if I was in that space. Absolutely. But like Wendy's is like Wendy's is taught in schools. That was legit taught to me in class.
So good.
How to be that dope.
So good.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to play Back 4 Blood with you. Because I have like a here's the thing. You know me, I really like trophies, and I have this $40 credit at GameStop. Just burning a hole in my pocket.
Oh, you need Back 4 Blood. Trade that bad boy in when you're done. And then if you ever want to keep playing, you stay on Game Pass. Get your trophies. There you go.
He gets me. He gets me.
Got the plan.
This is why we're actually friends.
I get it.
You know?
It's the only reason. I don't see why there'd be any other reason.
All right. Now we're guys. You know what? Spaces. Meet me.
Okay.
Let's talk. I want to talk about some of the listener questions that wrote in, but I also pulled up last week's episode, and JP was so cool. He understood my affinity and love for Control and Alan Wake lore, and went down the same rabbit hole as me on the Control and Alan Wake stuff, which was nice to see.
Is JP your alternate account?
No. Oh. No. But it was cool.
It's just Luke with sunglasses and like a mustache.
He posts comments on all of his videos.
Hey everyone.
You're really crushing it.
This guy writes it every week to XEP. He's really nice.
He's the best. Looks just like him. No, I agree. It's cool. And having since been able to start playing or finishing Alan Wake Remastered, and then one of the DLCs that came with it. I have one more DLC to go through. It's been really cool to kind of just see that world. Prequel but creating and setting up stuff and then like learning and stuff. It's been fun. So I'm glad somebody else got to enjoy that. So JP, I saw your comment and I really appreciate you. Pampa was always good for throwing us a comment as well. We appreciate you, buddy. Mr. Babbitt was there for acquisition season talk, which is good. That's good. Yes. Yes. But we did get some people writing in this week, some of our fan faves, which I love. But first, let's start with Tazachi. I never pronounce his name right. He's so active on Twitter and awesome.
Just
but
Tao,
it's Tao. Tao. Yeah. Tazachi. First write in and tell me how to pronounce your name properly so I can give you due credit, my friend. He says,
awesome, by the way, super nice guy.
He is super nice. I love this guy. I really do. I've seen him on socials for quite a while. He said, I would ask what each of your favorite gaming genres are and memory tied to that genre. I'll be watching when it goes up and keep.
I love that that's catching on. See?
I do.
Go ahead, Joe, or go ahead, one of you.
I have one prepped while you guys think about it, because I
swear to God, Luke, if you say Avengers, I'm canceling you off this show.
No, not this week, man. I am heated and mad at that. Ooh, I could give you a whole another show.
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
Carry on.
All right. It's like when Ain says, he's like, all right, I'll be quick. And then he talks for 20 minutes.
I know. And then I talk for 20 minutes. There's a lot to unpack here, guys.
No.
There's a lot to unpack.
So one of my favorite gaming genres is stealth action. I really love stealth action. And it started with Metal Gear Solid. And I have a great memory of a birthday party with stealth action where all my Nintendo 64 friends came over.
There's a scary bug on my desk. What do I do about it, guys?
Eat it. Assert your dominance
over
the
family.
You don't have a cup? Cup it.
I'm cupping it, boys.
Well, then you got to uncup it later.
Well, you can get it later, though. It'll just sit there.
Remember when I was about to share my memory and Joe just took my moment? That seems fair.
It was really creepy.
All right.
It to be known. It was like weird. I don't like it. I don't like bugs. Sorry, continue.
I like stealth action. And at a birthday party when I was very young, all my N64 friends came over and they were just like, what is this PlayStation? And this was my cool moment because it was like, oh, I finally have a cool game system too. And so I showed them Metal Gear Solid. And when I had Snake wrap on a wall in the very opening level and then go underneath it and crawl away through to get away, their minds were blown at that level of stealth action, because it was the first time we'd seen that as in gaming, and as kids it was just an awesome memory. And flash forward to where now my favorite series is the Arkham series, where I can play as friggin' Batman and still have all these stealth action elements that are similar in nature in a lot of ways. So to play as one of my favorite heroes in that genre certainly stands out. So I think my answer would be stealth action, third person stealth action. I love that. And getting to see kind of the evolution of that with my favorite heroes is dope.
Nice.
Yeah. Joe Ains, either come up with them.
I mean, I got a few. I feel like the genres that I prefer keeps changing as time goes on. Like when I was a teen, I was all about the first person shooter. If it wasn't a first person shooter, I wasn't touching it one bit. And now I'm kind of all over the place. Like, all I need is a controller and a really engaging experience, and I'm pretty much there. But I would be remiss if I didn't remind the audience that it's been 2,396 days since the launch of Bloodborne, and how Bloodborne alone has cemented my love for the Soulsborne genre. Elden Ring is 98 days away once this episode comes out. Like, oh my God, it's real. It's happening. But I also just want to give a shout out to games that I didn't know I liked so much. I think this year was eye-opening for those games, which is the roguelike, or roguelite, whichever word we're using. I loved Returnal. I adore Deathloop. Like, Hades is phenomenal. I love those like tough but fair, you're working with what you got type games that build upon your losses rather than or not losses, really like learning moments, kind of like what Souls games does. So I'm really liking the roguelike so far, because when I'm going through like what my game of the year is right now, it's like, I got Deathloop, I got Returnal, I got like Metroid's coming up there because it's like a really fun experience. So
now,
I'm.
Well,
Yeah.
if you want to go back to first-person shooters, they've got this new game coming out in October called Battlefield.
November.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They delayed it to fix it.
But yeah, no, that's what. Don't give me PTSD of that.
Yeah.
No, but in truth, that's I like games that are going to really challenge me, but it's not like it doesn't feel unfair. Like the challenge has to meet the, I don't know. The challenge has to be there, but it has to be fair. And so, yeah, I like a good roguelike. I like a good Soulsborne game for sure.
Nice.
Ames?
Yeah, this is hard for me because I'm kind of like Joe said, is like I literally just
no one got me.
I literally just play everything and enjoy mostly everything, save for a few things. But I would say
I'm rich.
I would say minor would be shmups, which are lesser kind of, they're not a big genre by any stretch. But I think Cuphead is probably the best modern iteration of what a modern shmup is like. It's like a bullet hell at times. I just love the absolute challenge. I love hard games. So,
it's happening again. Oh God.
So I love the challenge of those. But I think if I have to pick my favorite genre, it would be RPG. Some of my favorite games of all time, some of my favorite memories of all time are all RPGs. And I love like expansive worlds where you just kind of go off and do your own thing. Character development, loot and building out, stuff like that. I'm boring, Luke.
Sorry.
Funny memory though, which I don't think I've ever shared before on a podcast, because I've talked about Phantasy Star 1, which I've talked about that endlessly on shows, but I've never talked about this memory. So I'll be quick here, guys.
Lot to unpack here.
Lot to unpack.
When we're going back years. So NES era Dragon Warrior 1.
So 42.
Was 42. Damn it.
Joe doesn't remember this. I don't know if Luke does, but Dragon Warrior, when it came out on NES, was a huge, huge thing.
I wasn't alive.
I know. This is the point. It was a big thing. It was also incredibly difficult because you're in 1985 or 86, and there's no guides, there's no help, there's no nothing.
Call the hotline.
Yeah, for like, what was it, like $3 a minute in 85 or something like that. Yeah. So anyway, we had this core group of friends in my neighborhood at the time, and me and my one friend, my good friend Joe, decided that we were going to beat our other friend Jimmy and Rob or something like that at beating this game without help from the beginning. So we basically raced over the course of a couple weeks, and we'd come home from school, we'd go to each other's house, and we'd play Dragon Warrior. And I just remember doing that for weeks on end, and we did win in the end, which is awesome. But Dragon Warrior is one of those kind of memories that always sticks out to me. But yeah, RPGs in general, because Witcher 3 is the GOAT.
That was the memory. That was it.
That was it.
Well, I made it quick because you guys were giving me shit, so I made it fast.
I thought like we were gonna get a Walter Mondale memory as well. No. Walter Mondale was playing in the back. Reagan was president. Like something.
No, that's more for Luke. I don't do that.
Okay.
Oh jeez. This is
Next question, Luke.
Next question. This is from our buddy, Mr. Famous Seamus himself. He is the most famous Seamus that I've ever known, and that's my original phrase that I came up with.
Oh, your original one.
Did you just dish Seamus Blackley? Damn.
Yes, I did.
You had to think about it.
I saw a weird post from him the other day, and I was never. Mr. Famous Seamus says, best games to play during Halloween season. Now, boys, this question gets tossed around a lot, but I'm going to start you with Pumpkin Jack. Came out last year. It's getting a Series S and X upgrade close to Halloween. I'm saying Pumpkin Jack because it's just Halloween themed, and it's a classic PS2 style combat platformer. It's fun. It's really fun. It's like playing Medieval, but you're in Halloween mode. I love that game, but I also know what it is when I'm going in. I've also just got done with Alan Wake Remastered, which is a nice spooky if you don't like horror. And I bet you we're going to pop some Resident Evils in here. What else you guys got? Back 4 Blood's a good one.
I get Alan Wake tomorrow, by the way. I waited to pick it up, but I'm picking it up tomorrow. So,
are you getting it physical?
Of course.
Yeah. I don't do anything like
every day.
Oh, look at me. Oh, I gotta go to work tomorrow. Just gonna make an intern do it. Every day he clears his schedule for a week. How is he able to do this? What does he do, guys? What does he do?
That is not what happens.
5 interns runs aspects of Ains' jobs. One works the copier, one works the email.
I told Joe the other day, Luke, you know how I know you've never worked in a corporate job is the way you talk about corporate jobs.
There's 2 interns in an overcoat pretending to be Ains. Hello, Mrs. Secretary. Anyway, I don't do anything like for the occasion of Halloween.
You built up all that to say I don't do anything.
I don't do anything. I don't, because I feel like here's the thing. Here's a hot take. All right, you ready for it? You got one every episode.
Hot or bad?
Shake the shackles of PC culture and tell me this thing.
I'm shaking them. Well, you're gonna determine it right here, right now. Anybody that takes Halloween too seriously, you freak me out. Like the people that go overboard, like decorate your house, have fun with it. Right, for the kids. But like there was a house in my neighborhood, every year they have a different theme. This one's zombie horde, and they're literally hundreds of like fake zombies perched in their lawn. That's weird. I don't approve of that. If you change your name to a festive, spooky name, grow up. If you say spoopy instead of spooky, grow up. All right, we're adults. Do your taxes or something.
I think this is partial hot take, partial bad take.
This is just bad. This is just bad. Hi, I'm Joe, and I don't like fun.
I don't like festive stuff.
Halloween's actually my favorite holiday, but
right, really? Same.
I don't go overboard with it, but yeah, I love the time of year.
Exactly.
Well, we get like the candy from Costco, and I just have all the Reese's, and they can have the almond joys.
Yo,
first of all, almond joys are great.
Yeah, what is wrong with you? There's just bad. You're just a machine of bad.
Wait, is almond joy the one with the coconut? Which one? No, that's
coconut and an almond on it.
Oh my!
That's why it's almost like that's why it's called almond joy.
Yeah,
gosh, cars are so white. I can't take this. Oh god, let me guess. Your second favorite's like a York peppermint patty.
Yo, York, those are so good.
Hell yeah!
Oh my god!
Put it in the fridge, get a little chill effect on it.
He just doesn't like that there's candy with something white in it, so he has to go with Reese's because it's all dark and brown.
Yep.
Whoa, Patricia, we got one. We got one right here.
Oh no!
Reese's is the perfect marriage between peanut butter and chocolate.
Reese's are good too, but they're not peppermint patties.
Here's the thing about this whole like they have too many decorations at Halloween thing. It's like if they got a bunch of Santas out there at Halloween, it's like, oh, this is the one we're lying to your kids about. This is the one that we grow up kids lying to kids about. This man that breaks in your home.
Like if you have the orchestra outside and like the lights are turning on and off, it's go fuck yourself. I hate you. I really do. You got the flip like reindeer on top. Go to hell.
You just hate fun. I love that, man. I have a neighborhood full of kids. It's amazing. We walk around every year, see all these great houses. If the students come to my house, they get double candy. It's awesome. That's awesome.
There was a house in my old neighborhood that did a full haunted house every year. So like you literally go into their house. They'd redo their house every year.
I can appreciate a hayride, but anything other than that, maybe a corn maze, maybe. But if I get lost, I get frustrated.
Can I tell you right now, Hill's in a boot, and I want to do a hayride this year, but it's like she's in a boot. Do I go with somebody else? You can't go with another guy and just be like, hey, buddy.
Take her and leave her behind.
I say you do a 3-legged race.
Oh, gosh. Pop her up on my back. He's like, let's do this, honey.
Oh, my gosh. She could be Yoda. You could be Luke. For Halloween. What a costume!
That's actually freaking brilliant,
right? I always said some type of.
Do you guys still dress up for Halloween? There's a side question.
I'll be Master Chief because I had that Halloween ready for last year. You know what I mean? So like, I'll have my hoodie that looks like Master Chief's suit. Yeah. I'll have my helmet with me. I'll have my Nerf gun with me, and the gloves that I got for the skit that I was doing for Infinite when I was doing those. But like it's also like I needed a costume-esque thing for school that wasn't too much. so it made sense. You know,
I was a sexy kitty.
Joe's not dressing up.
Hey, Joe, can you send me like
he doesn't like
some
fun
DMs? Will you just DM me later?
Oh yeah, no. What it was Chipotle had like a burrito day. First off, shut up, Chipotle.
That's
Secondly,
so fun.
Fine, free burrito, great, but you had to dress up. And what I did was my friend had like cat ears, and so I took the cat ears. We did a little, black on the nose there, and put the cat ears on. Got little whiskers on my cheeks, and I was a sexy kitty, and I got a free burrito. Children run that company.
Joe, you're actually the worst right now.
I'm actually not too far off of Joe. I think they do some stupid stuff with it. Oh, and pumpkin spice, stop it!
Shut up! That is the best thing ever.
Stop it!
Slow your goddamn roll.
You know what? Basic white right here.
Not everything has to be pumpkin spice.
Yes, it does. God. I drank muscle milk this morning. That was pumpkin spice.
It's not working,
bro. It's all there. I can do push-ups in a way that I couldn't do before my surgery. I'm beast. Real talk, Ains. You'll be proud of me here. Whatever, cast go up. Here we are. Real talk. In my life, I've never flipped tires. I'm flipping tires now.
Why?
Like really,
why?
Ains, you post pictures of yourself. You're like, look at my neck muscles.
But why? And I'm like, tires. That's like this CrossFit thing.
It's the premise of it. It was the mental thing because I'm strong enough now to do it. Man, did you suck the joy out of that?
I know. I thought you were going to tell me something.
Are great.
I thought you were going to tell me something cool.
Can I tell you I regret buying that Season Gaming 117 shirt? Say that right now. I mean, it's a great shirt, but I regret it. I did buy the Halo, two of these, and I bought a Halo Pride shirt. Like it's Master Chief, but the visor is Pride.
Yeah, that one actually looks really cool.
It's really good. Yeah. I just got it today. It's really good looking.
We had Pride shirts and he didn't support his friend.
No, I support Pride. I don't support the trophy room.
Two different things. Yeah. The hell were we talking about? Oh, I don't know. Playing stuff for October.
One of my games.
To actually answer the question, no, I don't normally play anything specific. Though I do kind of want to go back and play some horror games. I think that's obviously the obvious thing to do, I guess. But
Little Nightmares, you recommended to me.
Little Nightmares 2 is one of my games of the year. It's absolutely incredible. Yeah. Visage just joined Xbox Game Pass. It is honestly, I love horror games. I play a lot of them. Visage creeped me the F out. It is terrifying. Seriously terrifying.
What do you do? What is it?
So if you've played PT, it's kind of like that. You can tell the developers basically took what was introduced in PT and built upon it. But you start in a house. It's kind of starts a lot like PT, and I haven't gotten that far because I was creeped the fuck out. But I want to play. I want to finish it. Yeah.
Would it be fun if my wife came and watched it together?
Like I think this is not a joke. I actually asked my wife to come sit with me while I played it.
Okay.
Because she likes horror stuff too. We watch horror stuff. We love horror stuff. So I wanted to share it with her, but it would have provided me a little comfort at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I used to do? Actually, talking about the holidays, Blizzard used to do some really awesome holiday stuff. So like for Overwatch or World of Warcraft, they would have. Yeah, they used to when they used to be a good company or not good company. We just weren't aware. We just weren't aware of them. But yeah, like the Overwatch skins were awesome. The Christmas for World of Warcraft was always a lot of fun. Those are great. I like those events. I would do that, but that's about it.
I did. Let's transition to movies. We watched Trick or Treat the other night. That's a good Halloween movie.
So did we actually.
Ernest Scared Stupid and Hocus Pocus are among my favorite like Halloweeny movies that are not horror. Same with Casper. I like Casper as a classic. And we've got Halloween 1 and 2, which I love, and then Halloween 4 I like a lot. And
so do I. You mean the old Halloween 4?
The old Halloween 4. I like that one a lot. And then there's the H2O is pretty good. What's the one that the 2018 soft reboot that now has a sequel, Halloween Kills?
Yeah, I didn't care for that one as much personally.
I liked it. I thought it was good because there've been a lot of bad Halloween movies too. Yeah. I'm not a big horror person, but if it's just cheesy enough, I can get through it. and these were just cheesy enough, and I enjoy it. I don't like the gore and stuff. That's not my jam.
Yeah, okay. I don't like the Hostels. I don't like that.
Yeah,
Midsummer really fucked me up.
Midsummer's wild.
Oh my god, that's so really crazy.
Ari's first movie before Midsummer that made him famous was Hereditary. That, in my opinion, is the best modern horror movie.
Is it gross?
It is. No. It's not gross. It is a mind F.
Same with Midsummer. There's some gore, but it's not like.
Yeah, it's not.
It's
Midsummer only has a couple things. Yeah.
Midsummer is visceral, but it's quick, and you'll be like,
yeah. Midsummer's more kind of disturbing. Hereditary is. It's hard to explain. It's just fantastic. It's a movie where you watch it after you see it the first time, you start to piece it together. You watch it again, you're like, holy shit, the way he built this movie is incredible. And then if you haven't watched it, it's really good. It's not gory. There's It Follows. It Follows is a very cool premise that I think you would enjoy. It's basically what happens is this girl basically has sex with this guy. And then she notices that this guy basically then tells her that I've passed this to you. This thing in the distance, this person's walking towards her. And he basically says that thing will never stop following you until you have sex with someone else and pass it to someone else. And basically the movie is about just this being taking the form of different human beings and literally never stopping following her. She can't get away from it. I don't know.
I feel like there's a way to.
I like Alien. Alien's great. Alien like sci-fi horror, I like because it's like, oh, this isn't real, but it still gives you a little scare.
Event Horizon?
Never
seen it, or never will watch it.
Never seen it.
Event Horizon's amazing, but it does have some gory parts.
Yeah. Well, see, for me, it's a mental health thing. It'll mess with me. Some stuff will just stick with me, and so I got to be careful. It took me a long time to watch A Quiet Place, and really liked it. I like a lot of horror movie stuff, but it's like I gotta really be in the right spot to handle it. You know?
Yeah, we're like me and my wife are all the way out there. Like, horror the better, darker the better, or weird.
Word. It makes you happy, buddy.
Next question. You guys are creeping me out.
I can give you some other horror movies if you really want to creep yourself out.
Back 4 Blood, is that a game that we are interested in actually squatting up and playing together? That was a question that one of our people had. That was Gaming Together podcast. What's up, Gaming Together?
What up?
That's a great Back 4 Blood's a great game to squat up with for sure.
Yeah, it's simple to jump into, easy to play. Yeah, it's awesome.
So much fun. Really, really like that game. That's a Game Pass win for Game Pass players. It's a buy win for anyone that purchases it. If you're playing with people.
Thinking of the Twitter space right now. Back 4 Blood, Game Pass filler? Question mark?
Game Pass filler? It's great. That statement to me is just nuts. Because if I can play games and have fun and not pay anything, I'll give me some filler while I wait for the pillar.
Yeah, they act like playing new games and experiences is a bad thing.
Yeah. I played Sniper Elites 3 and 4. And was I going to pay for those? No. Did I have a lot of fun because I didn't have to pay for them? Yeah. It was awesome. And I moved on with my life.
Yep.
Weird. Somehow it didn't hurt me from loving God of War. I don't know if this is... You can love good games and enjoy decent... great games.
What's going to happen when Forza Horizon 5 is the highest rated game of the year?
Microsoft.
My PlayStation.
I'm willing to take that bet. It'll be the highest rated game of the year.
I think you're probably right.
I think
you're probably right.
Yeah. That's fucking great.
Yeah. I think Forza Horizon 4 was like a 92 Metacritic, something like that.
But it's an Xbox game, and you know how Metacritic is with every Xbox game ever made.
Sure,
you know that.
Yeah,
you know how they are.
Negative 10 points automatically.
Negative 10.
Yeah. It's actually it's in the code. You have to put that in the agreement. When
it's a Sony pony bias right there.
Some would say Xbox, whom I love and I adore and prefer, maybe should have made better games in the third-person action space.
You stop it.
No.
So, I love my Crackdowns, but
yeah, there's dozens of you.
Yeah, but also
and the 3 people that miss Phantom Dust, including Miles.
I love
Tip my hat to you.
All right, boys, let's get out of here. What do you think?
Okay.
It was a good show. I had fun. I enjoyed you guys, as I always do.
Yep. Stop delaying us from doing this bi-weekly. God, Luke.
Yeah, dude.
You want to do your Halo thing?
I know. I had too much going on last week too. So
well, that's the reality. I mean, like it's we do that to any listener. Real talk. We do the show when we're able. We aim for every 2 weeks because we love you guys and we love doing this. But
it's for fun.
Yeah,
it's for fun. Fun. Yeah. We have fun here.
Twitter Spaces.
Burn up to the ground.
Another
Content creators aren't serious about their product.
Question mark, X mark, whatever. I'm tired. I need to go to sleep.
All right.
Can I do? Oh, well, you guys do your spiel, and then I'll do my
spiel.
thing.
Ains, tell us what's up with season gaming.
I don't have a spiel.
Yeah, you do.
You guys have this.
That was his spiel.
You guys have this well-scripted thing. I'm just like, yeah, visit seasongaming.com. My name's Ains. You can find me. Good. Let's go.
Oh, look at how great I am. I don't even have to.
I don't
on
care.
The site.
Oh,
no, I don't care. But like, if somebody wants to buy me the way they bought Reset Era, I wouldn't hate it.
I wouldn't hate it.
This is 100% true. Season game is not monetized. You want to give me $4.5 million for it? I'd be selling right now.
Suddenly we become Season Gaming has forums? question mark? Oh gosh. Find me on Twitter at Insipid Ghost, but please check out the Xbox expansion pass. I just crossed 100 episodes and hit my 2-year anniversary. Very proud of that, which is kind of cool. I have just posted reviews for Back 4 Blood and Alan Wake Remastered, getting started now on Far Cry 6, though that may not end up being a review based on the timing for Guardians of the Galaxy and a couple indies I'm working on as well, like Echo Generation and Circuit Superstars, which is a racing game. It's kind of cool.
Yes, which looks fantastic, by the way. Are you playing it?
I have a code for it. Would you like one?
If you have an extra, sure, send them out.
I'll hook you up. I'll send you.
Please do.
I will. There you go. That was easy.
No one sends.
I got a code, guys.
I give Joe codes all the time.
Yeah, you guys are just much better at working with PR. I suck at it.
Oh, dude, I'm awful. They always say no, or they don't even respond.
Well, we should talk about PR issues in another episode.
That would actually be a good episode for content creators talking PR. I would enjoy that.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. PR, and we can talk about reviews. Did you guys see that article from that guy McHale that's spreading around about review policy needs to change on games?
I have not. I would love
to
see
haven't?
That.
I'll put it in the DM, but really good article, and it would be a great topic too.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Let's real talk. We need to write this down. We need to really write this down,
like a spreadsheet. Ooh, like a Google Doc. Ooh. You can find me over at the Trophy Room PlayStation podcast, where each and every Thursday, me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest and greatest in all things PlayStation. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, YouTube. You know where I am. At Mr. Badbit, at PS Trophy Room on Twitter. And guys, it's keep Kasek co-op. What is that? I thought you were frozen like that.
You haven't